All right, what's up, everybody? How's it going? Wanted to just do a nice little fun live stream talking about, I guess, the future of Star Wars video games. I feel like that's what's been really what's in the news cycle for the past, I don't know, few weeks now since they announced the Lucasfilm. No, it wasn't even Lucasfilm. It was Lucas Games or something like that. Lucasfilm Games, I think. It's literally on the title of this freaking thumbnail. I don't know why. I don't even remember it. But yeah, Lucasfilm Games, whatever. And it seems like we've been hearing nothing but like rumors and rumors and rumors on what's going to be coming from this. A Knights of the Old Republic 3, a Battlefront 3, everything. Literally everything. So just thought we could have a good talk about it. David asked, what are your thoughts on the Rocky movies? Dude, the first three are pretty... shit, it's hard to remember. There's like the first one, the second one where he has the rematch with Apollo Creed, the third one where he fights Mr. T, and that's the one where he's like, because I'm scared. And then the fourth one, he fights... No. Maybe the fourth one's the one where he's scared, because that's the one he fought... I want to say Derevyanchenko, which is a guy who's actually from boxing, who fought Triple G not too long ago. He fought the Russian guy, and then wasn't there like a fifth one where it was just called Rocky Balboa? And there was another one, maybe that was the sixth, because there's another one that was about Tommy. That was actually a really a good boxer back when that film came out. Unfortunately, passed away because of the troubling life. But yeah, the Rocky movies, the first three are pretty good. Anything past that, it's back into like, I don't know, Indiana Jones and Star Wars territory, where after the first three, you're like, okay, we could stop now. The Apollo movies are really good, though. Apollo's really good. Max says, I know you're not a Marvel guy, but have you watched the WandaVision show? If so, what are your thoughts? I do need to watch that, because I haven't. Me and my girlfriend have talked about doing that, but no, I haven't done it yet. Done with Marvel. I've been done with Marvel for a little bit now. So Ralph does ask, the question of the day is Battlefront 3 in development ? I don't know, man. I don't have any connections in terms of, I don't have a lot of connections in general. So there's a reason I don't come out every other week. Like some of these people who say like an inside scoop, or like I have like a scoop every month or so. If I get a scoop, great. It happens once every blue moon, but it's nothing written in stone, really. It's nothing like it's going to happen. It's just like, someone's nice enough to be like, oh, hey, by the way, I don't know if you heard about this, but this is happening. I'm like, that's kind of cool. So I don't have any connections to the gaming industry like that, where I could be like, oh, I need to reach out to someone that I know at EA or DICE and see if this is really happening. So I for sure don't know off of my own like personal ties and personal research that I could do myself. But from what we have through the grapevine of things, from what we have through, the actors returning to work, some other people kind of hinting that there's Battlefront 3 happening, I think it's going to happen. Does that mean it's in development right now? I don't think so. I think that if we get a Battlefront 3, I don't want it for at least another few years, because Battlefield 6, which is what DICE is working on right now, comes out, I think, at the end of this year or the beginning of 2022. So for me, that means if there is a Battlefront 3 in the works, it's being developed right now by a very small team, or it's just not happening in general. Because if I want a good development on Battlefront 3, I want it to be 3 to 4 years with DICE kind of giving it their all, and then we get it in like maybe 2025 or something like that. I think, because that would be the 10-year anniversary of the first one that came out, so that's not a bad time to go for it, in my opinion. The 2015 one, at least. Jeez, man, time is a bitch if that happens. 10 years, wow. I don't know. I want a Battlefront 3. I don't know if I want it from DICE and EA. I don't think they've done a lot of great with it. The second one is a lot better. It's improved because of all the post-launch content they've put in. But other than that, I don't know. Any thoughts on Cobra Kai Season 3? Really good. Felt faster than the last two. It's great. I mean, I like Cobra Kai. I grew up watching Karate Kid because karate was like my first martial art until I stemmed into something like judo, jiu-jitsu, and Muay Thai and all that stuff. Elijah, a plot twist. StarWarsOnly is a playable character in Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga with his face blurred out. It probably would be blurred out. I have no idea what my what my freaking Star Wars character would look like in a Lego game. I'm pretty excited for that. Let's see if we can actually skip to like the B-roll of some of the games instead of all just, yep, here we go. Back to good old, you remember this? You guys remember this? This always like a nostalgia fest for me of like a trip back on memory lane. You guys remember when EA gave us this trailer and we were all like, yes, bro, a new era for Star Wars, another Battlefront? What? No, not even another Star Wars game from, just countless developers. Visceral's making one, a VR Star Wars. What? Like all this stuff looks so cool. And now that it's been close to 10 years, you're like, man, well, what happened? What did you guys do? What did you guys do? You've done nothing. You haven't done anything for us. Mike says, I must know if you had to choose between Phantom Menace or The Last Jedi. I must know this. Ooh, which would I pick between the two? Which one do I enjoy more is probably The Phantom Menace, just because I grew up with it. I have those rose-colored glasses of making a documentary about it and just kind of the process that went into it. What's a better movie or a film? It's probably going to have to be The Last Jedi. And that's not me trying to be a hater of the prequels or even apologist of The Last Jedi. I hate The Last Jedi with a passion, but boy, I mean, there's a lot of things that thing does better than The Phantom Menace, Last Jedi had a shitty story that was executed pretty well. The Phantom Menace had a great story that just was horribly done. Public. Elijah says, I think EA has the rights to Battlefront franchise, so would it have to be them making BF3? Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not disagreeing with you because I know they had the exclusive deal. It seems like if they're gonna continue making Star Wars games, yeah, I think Lucasfilm would be accepting of EA only being the ones to make Battlefront games, which is really weird, and not in the sense of I don't want it to happen, but it's really weird how they have not capitalized on Battlefront at all as a title, because you would think this would be like their next Call of Duty. You would think this would be a modern day Battlefield Call of Duty where every few years, I don't want it every year. I don't even want it every 2 years if we're being honest with ourselves here. But like every so often you get a new Battlefront installment. And that's kind of hard to do right now. Like let's say they try to do that starting in 2015, and then of course 2017 we got Battlefront 2, 2019 Battlefront 3. It's almost like, well, how much can you add each time other than refine the game? One thing I don't think is an awful idea is like if you put Battlefront 3 out and it's free to play, which holy shit, I mean that's a bold move on EA by itself. But if they put out Battlefront 3 as a free to play, but then you do like the battle pass that Fortnite does or something where you buy skins and I can't remember the best way to look at it, but like, a lot of the cosmetic stuff you get and just ways to upgrade, you could probably pay for that through Battlefront 3. But if it's free to play, I think they'd make a lot of money just from all the extra crap that comes with it. But that's the problem with free to play is I don't want it to be free to play. I want to pay my $60 when I get there, and I want the game to basically be the same. If you want to add like paid DLC down the line, I will be okay with that, as long as they continue to support the game like they did for Battlefront 2. So Battlefront 3 could work really well. But like I said, if we're going to do a franchise with it where we're having a yearly release of Battlefront games, then you can't do something big every time, because then if we do Battlefront 1 in 2015 and it's only original trilogy era, Battlefront 2 in 2017 and it's all three of the eras, Battlefront 3, let's say in 2019 or even today, it's like, okay, well, how much can you add to it? You can add the Mandalorian, you can add the Clone Wars, you can add a lot more maps for sure, but in terms of content from Star Wars, there's not much that's new. So imagine if they did a Battlefront every few years and we get one in like 2025 or let's just even say 2030, and it includes things like the High Republic era, it includes the Acolyte, like all the stuff that we're hearing about that's coming out, it includes those kind of things. So there's a lot of options, but I don't want it to be a yearly thing. I just think that EA should make that a new franchise where people talk about first person or third person shooters like Battlefront or not Battlefront, Battlefield and Call of Duty. Battlefront could be included with that. I would not be opposed to that at all, but it doesn't seem like they want to. It does not seem like they want to. Star Wars Nate says like Apex, which is from EA. It's actually from my favorite studio under EA, Respawn. They've made, I'm going to be honest, I don't think there's a single game that they've made that, at least that I know about, that I don't like. Because right now I know that they've made Titanfall 1 and 2, which Titanfall 1 was really great. Shouldn't have been a console exclusive for Xbox. Kind of weird how they had the campaign for that setup. Titanfall 2, an amazing game. I am so pissed off at EA for releasing that between like, what was it? It was between Anthem and Battlefield 4 or 5 or 1 or whatever the fuck that they come out with now. But the point is, they botched Titanfall 2. That was EA's fault, not Respawn's though. Respawn has made Titanfall 1 and 2, which I loved, and then they also made Apex Legends and of course Jedi Fallen Order. And I love Apex. Like when it comes to battle royale games, Fortnite's awful just in general. I cannot stand the game mechanics of that. But Apex Legends is one of the most fun games I've ever played, and I'm so glad Respawn got their opportunity to work in Star Wars. I can't wait for them to keep coming out with stuff. Any word on the rumored return of 1313? Nothing solid. That's what kind of sucks about some of the scoops. The main thing that comes from is a guy named Daniel Richman, and he says that it's not going to be a game. It's going to be a show or a movie. Something like this, we're not going to see this happen for another 3 to 5 years at minimum. And I'm talking like we're actually sitting down watching 1313, the show or the movie. If this becomes a game, that's one thing, but I haven't heard anything since that report, and I don't think we will for some time, if we ever hear from it. And that's one of those things where if it doesn't come to fruition, if it doesn't happen, we don't get a 1313, we can definitely say that Daniel Richman guy has been getting a lot of things wrong. Sloth Brute, he says, I think want EA to make better. I'm just going to say he probably wants EA to make a Battlefront 3 with less profit in mind, but more quality of game, however unrealistic it is. Yeah, I'm glad you're self-aware enough to know that it is a little unrealistic, because the goal is to make profit. And your company, your business, you're going to make money. And it's one of those weird things where, you talk about filmmakers, or you talk about, creative storytelling like video games, or just in general, people are like, oh, well, I hope they're doing it for the story and not the money. It's like, well, they're going to have to do it for money. No offense. No executive producer in any situation ever is going to go, well, how about you worry about the story and not really worry about what's going to sell? No, they want something that's going to sell. So yeah, it's unrealistic to expect them not to make it with profit in mind. But I think they've learned from Jedi Fallen Order that when you market it, not only just right, but when you let the developers tell the story they want to tell. Look, Jedi Fallen Order is a single player Star Wars game. It's a story-driven Star Wars game. It's not really open world, but it kind of feels like it in a way. That marketed itself. The game itself was marketed perfectly, because you look at that and you go, this is great, and we can market it off the content we have, instead of marketing the content you have with Battlefront and then adding an extra layer of profit on top of it. That kind of muddies the water a little bit. And it ended up backfiring, of course, because the marketing was great for Battlefront 2 and Battlefront 1. It's just the controversy that surrounded it engulfed that entire thing. So I think that going for Battlefront 3, they're going to realize we should just let the developers do their thing. Let's not, as a company, as EA, mess with it too much. Let's not add all this extra crap into it. Let's give them the space and the time that they need to develop and make a good product. And I think they would. I think Battlefront 3 will be a lot better than the first 2 installments, but I would hope it's 10 times better. They have a lot to improve for someone like me, who is a kind of a cynic and a critic, in the sense of, I'm still not impressed with Battlefront 2. It's still pretty boring to me. Not a bad game. It's just after a game or two, I'm like, I can't do it. It's just boring. It's the same thing over and over again. I want something different. Big Star Wars fan says, do you think SJW propaganda is in Star Wars? I'm sure in some sense. I used to really believe in that back when I was a smaller channel, and I was also a teenager when I started this channel. So I had a lot of I don't know, I'm not going to say rage or anger, but I felt that little, I felt like the resistance against modern day Star Wars and stuff. I didn't like how Rose Tico, it kind of seemed like she called out capitalism in The Last Jedi and how the rich people are evil. I hate that narrative in general, of everyone who's rich is just evil. It's like, what happens if you become rich, though? Does that make you evil now? Does money make you evil? If that's the case, then why do we even have money? It's just stupid political shit, But no, I don't think there's a lot of SJW propaganda in Star Wars. Is there social justice warriors who work on it? Oh, 110%. We all know, being located in San Francisco, California, most of the Lucasfilm employees, if not all of them, are going to lean towards the left. If not, you're going to have people who are, Democrats, but not far left, not extremists, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm sure there's a big chunk of people over there working at Lucasfilm who are highly SJW, but I also think to say that anything that comes out from Lucasfilm isn't or is SJW nonsense or propaganda is a little bit of nonsense itself, because it's like not every single thing that they come out with is going to be SJW shit. I mean, truth be told, look at Jedi Fallen Order. Was that SJW? No, not really. What's come out recently? A lot of people are saying High Republic SJW. Dude, I read the book, Light of the Jedi. Check out my review on it. It wasn't SJW. It was fine. It was a good book. I liked it. Not perfect, but did what it needed to do. So I enjoyed it. I don't think that was SJW. But when you have a culture war of two sides against each other, where you have side of the SJWs, the people who love Disney, Star Wars, let's say they're SJWs, people who lean to the left, when you have them who act like anything that criticizes Star Wars nowadays comes from these deplorables, they think anyone who criticizes Star Wars nowadays is a Trump supporter who sides with the fandom menace, all that stuff. It's generalization that doesn't work. And that's what we're seeing now with Star Wars fans. If you have this fandom menace people who think anyone who likes Star Wars is far left or just radical SJWs, and then you have these people who like Disney Star Wars who are like anyone who doesn't like it is Trump supporting fandom menace idiots. Neither are entirely true at all. There are stereotypes, of course, that do ring true in some sense, but no, I don't think it's as big of a deal as we're making it out to be. A big Star Wars fan also asked, "Who's your favorite Star Wars channel?" I don't have one. I don't know. I don't care about that. Shit. Let me think. Bro, is there actually a Star Wars channel who I genuinely watch and don't even think about? Let me go through my subscriptions on my personal YouTube channel real quick. There's Star Wars, the actual Star Wars channel. I watched something from World Class Bullshitters today. I don't love their content, but I like Jeff when he does stuff. He's pretty good. And bro, who am I subscribed to? That's even Star Wars. Holy shit. A guy named Mike Hall. What does he do? Oh, he used to be a Saber person, Sabersmith stuff. Jin Sarai, boy, is he still around? Force Relics, I remember them. Some of these people are just not even relevant anymore. But they're really small. I guess the Lore Master, he's not my favorite, but when it comes to covering stuff that is lore, I like that guy and their work a lot over there. They have a few guys who work over there, and shout out to them for hitting 1 million subscribers. So Lore Master's up there. Eckhart's is pretty up there, but just because I genuinely like the way he makes his videos, personal opinions about the guy's side. I like Eckhart's a lot. Good guy, good videos. Dude, you know who I used to hate? Star Wars HQ. Nothing against those guys now. I mean, I have nothing ill will. I just remember for a while I was like, man, everything that comes, I just don't watch their videos anymore. They have really good thumbnails though. Looking at it right now. But God, I used to watch their videos and be like, man, do y'all have a mean bone in your body? Have y'all ever said anything negative towards Star Wars? And it doesn't seem like they have. So good for them. But yeah, I used to watch them a lot too. There's a lot of old channels I used to watch. Elijah says, will you be getting Into the Dark, which comes out next week? I wanted to get a press review for that. I wanted to get an early copy of it to read it, but no, Star Wars Only is a dick. Doesn't get anything. I will be getting it. I'm a little iffy on that lady in general. I have seen the things she tweeted out. There's some people which we're actually I'm not even gonna say that because it puts me in a bad spot of indefensible judgment on my part. But I have not heard the greatest things about her writing. I will say that. I have not heard the most tremendous things. So I will be getting it since is it not the sequel to Light of the Jedi? So for that reason, I will be getting it. But boy, I am I'm holding judgment till I read it. How about that? No hold bar on that review when that comes out. This question is, what do you think there will be, or when do you think? But guys, we got to work on our typing, or maybe I got to work on my reading. He's basically saying Jedi Fallen Order 2 in 2021. No, that's coming in 2022, my friend. 2022. So you still got a little bit ways to wait, but that's going to be okay. Zombie Knight. There is total SJW propaganda in Star Wars, and it's all because of Kathleen Kennedy. I hope you're trolling. I hope you're just being funny, because it's not all because of Kathleen Kennedy. If there is some, I would say, yeah, Kathleen Kennedy has an influence, and she is she is like the head lady over there. So I understand holding her accountable, but I don't think it's all because of her. I think a lot of it is just employees. And we can get into the SN7 says, do you know Christina, how do you say it? Ariel of High Republic is racist towards white people. Dude, I read those tweets, and my rule of thumb is always, if I read a tweet towards a specific race, if I change the race from black to white or white to black or any other race out there, is it going to sound racist? So when she says things about white people, if I change that to black people, would that sound racist? And some of the tweets I would say yes, and some of them I would also say no, because it seemed like they were in the context of something else entirely. As if I was an employer, would I want to hire someone with those tweets out there? No, personally, I would not. However, let's say they hired her after all that happened, and they did not know about those tweets. Should they now fire her for it? Should they now be mad at her for it? I would argue no. I would argue no. We all tweet stupid things. She was doing that a lot in response of, I think, the George Floyd protests and the Black Lives Matter movement, which, you know, that was an awful thing that happened to George Floyd, despite his, you know, criminal past, and no man should deserve to die like that. And there's a lot to that we've all kind of glossed over, but it's one of those things where it's like, hey, I don't want politics and my Star Wars mixing. And I do find it a little hypocritical and a little upsetting that Star Wars came out with a tweet, and maybe I should make a video on this just because it's such a big topic in the fandom. I normally wait a little bit to make topics or make videos about these topics so the big wave of interest can die down. It's not great for my views or channel subscriptions, but it helps me with sanity, and it also helps me kind of get a bigger picture of it. The way it looks like to me is that it's kind of hypocritical for Star Wars to come out and say, we support her against racism and everything, which I want them to. I want them to defend their employees. I want them to stand up against racism. Who doesn't want that? But it is kind of like, why are you supporting this? Well, it's not a why. It's kind of funny that you are coming out in support of this girl who is being harassed by a bunch of probably racist people on the internet, because I saw some of the DMs she put out. They were calling her the hard N-word with the ER and everything. That's fucked up. There's no defending that. And it's fine that they're defending her, but it's just funny how they didn't defend John Boyega. They didn't defend Kelly Marie Tran. They never came out with a big statement about this stuff like they did for, what's her name? Christina. You know, John Boyega specifically came out and said, Disney marketed me as a black actor in a lead role and kind of shoved me to the side, and that's not great if you're trying to, you know, strive for diversity. They wouldn't go to the defense of John Boyega because they were being critiqued. They don't go to the defense of Kelly Marie Tran because they were being critiqued. But when it's Christina who is getting critiqued by people on the internet over something that really shouldn't be that big of a deal, we just make a big deal out of everything because it's the internet. They're like, oh, we got to defend her. We got to defend her. They didn't even put out a birthday wish for James Earl Jones' 90th birthday these past few weeks because, well, it's not because he's black, for one thing. It's probably because he's a black Republican. And I'm assuming a lot of people in San Francisco who are, most of the people at Lucasfilm are probably white liberals who are going to go, well, why would a black person ever vote Republican? I mean, what kind of, who do they think they are? Free people? Like, come on. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit of a dick mood, but that's just kind of how a lot of white liberals look at black people. They're like, well, they either vote for the Democrats or, you know, they don't know what they're doing. It's like, so yeah, Lucasfilm has a problem when it comes to PR and dealing with that, and I really hope they get a rein on things because a lot of hypocrisy over there. All right. Sorry, going through some of the comments. The Mandalorian Covert says, Star Wars has an alt-right problem. Dude, I don't know if you saw that tweet, but shit made me so mad. Hey, how about this? I'll play devil's advocate because everyone knows I lean conservative right. Yes, Star Wars does have an alt-right problem. I'm not going to deny that. Yes, though, Star Wars also has an alt-left problem, an extremist on the left side. Both sides of the aisle. If you're, no offense, man, if you're getting upset about Star Wars having an alt-right problem. Maybe it might be because you're leaning alt-right, which I advise against, but also when you say alt-right, like, you got to define it now, because by some people's standards, they're like, alt-right, that's people like, I don't know, Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder, and it's like, those guys are YouTubers. Those aren't alt-right guys. They're just normal, like, young conservatives. If you're saying alt-right and you're like Alex Jones, the Proud Boys, all that stuff, well, okay, maybe it is alt-right, but I think both sides have taken over Star Wars for their own personal gain. I don't think either of them are doing it because they truly love Star Wars at this point. David the Master 2021 says, "What is your opinion on Inception?" Good movie. Love it. Well, okay, I don't love it. I like it. Okay, guys, I can't do this every stream. What do you think of Star Wars Theory? I think he's the most popular Star Wars channel out there. That's all I got to say. I don't want to talk about that dude every stream. It's getting weird now. All right, I'm catching up with the comments now. I might have missed some. Oh, Zombie, come on, man. You got to get more educated on these comments. KK was taken off The Mandalorian. No, she wasn't. She's the executive producer. You're getting these rumors from Doomcock, Bounding in the Comics, probably Nerdrotics, Clownfish TV, Mike Zero, probably the biggest culprit. I mean, no. No, that's not true. This is funny, though. Damn, why would someone vote for lower taxes and more freedom? I don't know. You please take my freedom away. Jack says, any thoughts on making SWTOR canon? I would be really okay with that in the sense of the timeline. I'm not okay with that in the sense of what those people can do. Dude, the force abilities that people have in the Old Republic are fucking ridiculous. Like, you walk out and let's say you're a Sith. Do they have Inquisitors in that one? They have like a sorcerer, and then they have like an assassin, I think. Let's say you're the sorcerer, and you walk onto the battlefield, and there's like 5 Jedi, and you just bring lightning from the clouds above you. That's a little OP, man. I don't know if I want that, but other than that, I really like that era. If there's one game I wish I could live stream and just do gameplay of, it is SWTOR. All the other Star Wars games are really cool and all. SWTOR was like a big deal for me growing up because I always wanted to play it, and my mom was, we went to GameStop one day to buy it. And then I was so young that I didn't realize that, this is an MMORPG where like you have to pay a monthly subscription fee. And it was like $15 a month at the time. It was like when it just launched. And my mom was like, I don't know if I want to pay for that. I mean, she's a single parent raising me. I mean, times are hard kind of thing. So it never happened. So when I finally got to play it, when it became free to play, sometime like I think at the end of high school for me, maybe like my senior year or something, maybe even my junior year, I played it. I loved it. So I really love SWTOR, and I would love to actually play it and do live streams with you guys because it is one of my favorite games. But all that aside, making it canon, oh man, that's a Pandora's box. I just don't understand why people are dragging actors and actresses into politics. That's a good point. And a lot of people do that because they want to feel vindicated, and also because a lot of the time, some of the roles that people pick, some of the stories that people put out in Hollywood are geared towards one political party, which is the left, and so it's just kind of confirmation bias, where it's like I want to hear people who agree with me. You don't really no one wants to hear from anyone who disagrees with them. I'm someone who tries to be rational and open-minded. I want to hear from everyone, even if you disagree with me or not. But does that really mean I want to hear what you disagree with on me? No, I would rather you be like, you know what, Star Wars Only, you're right. You're absolutely right, man. You wouldn't say a thing wrong. If that sounds better than someone going, Star Wars Only, you're a fucking idiot. You have no idea what you're talking about. Like, which one would you rather hear if you're in that position? So it's just human intuition at this point. People are stupid. People are stupid. Do you think SWTOR will survive after the exclusive contract expires? Oh, 100%. What they're going to do is probably continue support on that through BioWare. But I also imagine like maybe 15 or 20 years after the game is released, because it came out in 2011, they're going to just say, hey, we're not continuing support with this, because it's free to play right now, but they're still putting out updates and content on it all the time. So I'm fine with it. I don't want that to end anytime soon, but if it does, maybe we make another one. Solomon Lamb says, thoughts on Ubisoft MMO? I don't know, man. I'm excited to see what they do with the Star Wars game. That's open world. That's all I needed to hear for me to be on board. So I hope it's really good. I don't know what era it's going to be set in. Bespin Bulletin is one of the most credible Star Wars scoopers ever, and he said that there is a bounty hunter Star Wars game in the works. I feel like this would be a good idea for it, because if it's a open world, and now we don't know if it's actually going to be MMO. They just said it's open world Star Wars game. Didn't say anything about it being MMO. But if you have an open world Star Wars game that is based on a bounty hunter, I think a lot of people are going to be happy with that, and I know I would. Elijah says, I like how your chats are always filled with people who disagree with each other, so we can get both sides of the argument. Oh, dude, that's one thing I love about you guys. People who watch Star Wars only and comment a lot. It's like, dude, there are people on every different freaking. There are people who comment all the time of Star Wars is SJW nonsense. It's dead. Kathleen Kennedy ruined Star Wars. Then on the other hand, I have people who are like, I actually like the prequels and the sequels a lot. I don't know why you guys are hating on them. Like, it's everybody. So I do like that. I like having a diverse audience. Titled, please, Star Wars only, kiss me in the mouth. I can't, buddy. I'm sorry. I am happily taken. I don't know if Miss Only would like that. Tony Stark says, not really. They're pushing. Oh, not really. They are talking about parrots, and Tony pissing. Must have clicked on the wrong one. Rough Collies Rock says, love your channel, dude. Like how you and Thor Skywalker are the balance in the fandom, at least in my opinion. Hey, I appreciate that, man. I have not checked out Thor Skywalker's channel in a while. A lot of his video titles seem similar to a lot of the clickbaity stuff, but when you actually like listen to him, I like his format. You know, I like how he has comments from his community page and responds to them and everything, and makes it a very big open dialogue and open conversation. I think it really works for him, and kudos to him. Okay, sorry. Some of these comments are funny. Oh yeah. Chuck Haggart is saying Star Wars only, 2 words, Storm Shadow. Was that really his name? I thought it was something else. Let me type that in real quick. Storm Shadow. No, Hello Greedo did a Storm Shadow. Is that what it was? He did like a big fucking form on that. Nope. I don't think it's Storm Shadow, man. What's the name? It's something Shadow for sure, right? Super Shadow. That's his name. Super Shadow. Okay, so if anyone who doesn't know, Super Shadow was like this guy who he's honestly a modern day Doomcock. Or no, yeah, there we go. See, I should have just freaking fucking Super Shadow. Shoo. I can't fucking say my S's. Super Shadow was a guy who back in like the early 2000s, late 90s. This was the internet before what it is today, of course, and before I was alive as well. But Super Shadow was a guy who, like, before the prequels were being made, was coming out with these leaks saying, I have inside sources who are saying that George Lucas is putting a droid Sith in episode 1. And then, like, of course, that stuff didn't happen. And he was like, oh, it was rewritten. Like, he just came out with all these BS exclusives and scoops. And then it got so insane to the point where, like, the guy launched his own website. He did, like, you donate X amount. He did so-called exclusive interviews with George Lucas where he was like, hey, chat with me, and I'm gonna talk to George Lucas right now. Like let's say I'm Star Wars only doing it, and I'm like, all right, guys, put in a comment, and you're like, I want Anakin Skywalker to be 14 years old and to get caught throwing tomatoes at the old lady down the street on Coruscant in episode 3. And then I, Star Wars only / Super Shadow, would look to George Lucas and say, hey, this guy wants this and that. And then he would pretend that George Lucas would say, oh, you know, it's a really good idea. I'm probably put that on the next show and all that. It was insane how famous this guy became in the Star Wars community, but also, like, the support he had and, like, just how far he went. Not a single thing the guy said ever came true. And people still believed him. It's the exact same thing we have with Doomcock. The guy put out a video today, and I didn't watch it, of course, because how dare I support that motherfucker. But the title was basically saying, like, it's confirmed that there's footage for the retcon sequel trilogy. They're like refilming the sequel trilogy, and there's alternate scenes with Han and Leia that were filmed. And it's like, bro, people really believe this is happening. Like, how? Like, it hurts my brain to think about it, where I'm like, how do you think that's even possible? When is the release date? When is this retcon coming out? I need to know how that's ever going to happen. Because holy shit, I don't get it, man. Oh man, it is baffling. Chuck Haggard says Super Shadow actually said a Sith named Darth Rage was going to be a Mace Windu. Yeah, like he came out with so many different things. Gamer Guy says, I wonder who the Mike Zeros and Doomcocks will be in a decade. Hey, if those guys are still kicking it by then and they're still making it, then no one needs to replace them. And then good for them, because that's a long hustle. I don't know who's going to be those guys in a few years. I think I kind of want to start a channel, and I don't want to put the name out there just because someone's going to steal it, because everyone wants to steal my ideas, even though I have none. I want to start a channel with like an obvious Star Wars name, but like something like StarWarsOnly. But I put out like ironic fake news, kind of like Mike Zero and kind of like Doomcock, but like it would be like a long conned out troll. Where like, let's say that channel does better than StarWarsOnly does. It probably would, if we're being honest. But it's like nothing but clickbait shit, where it's like the sequel trilogies retconned in 2025, man. 10-year anniversary, there's rebooting the entire sequel trilogy. Like, I put out stuff like that. Say I have inside sources. Just read all the bullshit that comes from these other Star Wars channels and websites and all that stuff. Let's say I make that channel. I just keep putting out that fake shit all the time, and it blows up. And then, like, 5 to 6 years from now, I just come out at the end of it, being like, hey, guys, I made like $2 million from this. I don't have time anymore because, I got a family and shit. But by the way, this was all fake. You're all a bunch of fucking idiots. My real name is StarWarsOnly. I've, just been doing this long con game because I really wanted to see how far I could take it. And you motherfuckers will believe anything. Oh, my God, that'd be funny. Like, I get comments on StarWarsOnly saying, dude, this guy named Star Wars also said that you're wrong because his inside sources said this was going to happen. And there's a war at Lucasfilm. Like, dude, I think that'd be the biggest hustle ever. Like, I really want to do it. Like, don't fucking tempt me. I get ambitious on these things, and oh man. Title of the channel, fake news. No, I can't call it fake news, but like if I called it like Star Wars news or something like that, that could be something. But it needs to be like unironic. We're like, if you guys knew who I was and you guys listen to it, you're like, oh my God, that's StarWarsOnly. He's so fucking with everybody. But then anyone who doesn't know my channel and anyone who doesn't know this new channel, like start subscribing to it, they're like, bro, like this guy's like spitting facts here. Like he's like honest about everything. Like they really believe me. It's very convincing. I would love for that to happen. Elijah says, "Did we pass the copyright trailer yet?" No, I think that was taken out. You can trim things after you upload a video in Star Wars, or not in Star Wars, fucking idiot, in YouTube. So yeah, that's what I did. Comment Star says, "First video is George Lucas buys Star Wars back." LOL. I'm gonna be like, yeah, that would be the joke. It's like, all right, so there's this theory that George Lucas donated half the cash he got from Disney in that $4 billion purchase. That he donated that to the education. Turns out George didn't do any of that. He just kept all the Disney stock that was valued at $2 billion back in 2012, let it grow till now 2021. He sold all his stock, which is probably almost doubled by this point. God bless that man. He sold all the Disney stock, has probably $8 billion in cash right now, and he is buying it back from Disney for $2 billion because fuck you, basically. That's the logic there. Fuck you. Oh, man. So, yeah, I would love for that to happen. Star Wars Hour says, do you like Minecraft? I used to. I don't. No. I don't. I don't play it anymore. I used to play it. I used to like it. Bro, now there's like saddles in the game and horses and all these new, maybe there were horses the whole time, I don't remember, but I feel old because like I will play the game and I'm like, bro, there's so much new shit. I don't know how to do any of this anymore. Like certain blocks don't even look the same. So yeah, I'm a little past Minecraft now. Obsidian says, I used to watch Doom content and for a time did want to believe that Lucasfilm was replacing the sequels. Well, I will admit I was dumb. Hey man, I was in the same boat. I used to listen to a lot of fake news stuff. I used to believe it. If you like, honestly, it's embarrassing. But if you go back and look at my channel in 2018, 2017, was I around before that? How long have I been doing this? Holy shit! Consistently, I've been doing it for about 2 to 3 years now. Which I wish my subscriber count would show that, because my subscriber count is shit for the amount of time I've done on this. But that's my own fault, no one else's. But I used to believe a lot of stuff like that back then. In 2018, I would make videos like directors refuse to work on Star Wars and all this shit, and The Last Jedi being remade, and I didn't believe a lot of it, but I also fell victim to thinking it was all real at some point. So it happens. There's this fun study that came out recently that's saying the more angry someone is, the more likely the more susceptible they are to fake news, or what they call misinformation. And I feel like America and just the world in general has a problem with that. I think if you watch mainstream television, or not television, news networks, you're getting a very filtered, you're getting a very skewed reality of the facts. And a lot of that is to push misinformation to make people upset, because then, hate and anger really drives up views and interest. So I understand falling for that. I fell for it too. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It does become something when it becomes almost a cult and a religious experience of being like, well, I can't not be angry at Star Wars anymore. A lot of people like me just eventually went, you know what? I didn't like The Last Jedi, even in the slightest. I don't like the new films, but I'm still here. So let's just keep going. Then there's other people who are like, no, I'm not going to get over it. I have to hold on to what I'm upset about and keep talking about it every day for years and years and years. At some point, man, life's too short. You just got to move on. I'm a lot happier now than I was when I was making those kind of videos. Gabriel says, do you think Lucasfilm was worth more in 2012 now? I think he's trying to say, is it worth more now than it was in 2012? Yes, Lucasfilm is worth a lot more now than it was in 2012, just because of the amount of content that they have coming out. The merchandise is at a lot better position. The value of the IP has gone up a lot because of the parks, because of the movies and shows that are coming out. That makes it more valuable. Does it mean the content is better than what it was in 2012? No, that's always going to be up for debate and argument. But anyone who says like Star Wars is dead, I get that if you're trying to say the story, I'll try to hear you out in that sense, or the creative prospects for it. I feel like you can't make that argument in 2021 that you could in 2017, 2018, or even 2019. But I think that any financial analyst or accountant who deals with business, and anyone in the stock market in general, no one is going to look at the 2012 Lucasfilm compared to the 2021 Lucasfilm and say 2012 is better for Lucasfilm. 2012 was great. Things were still going well over there and for Star Wars and Lucasfilm, but LucasArts was a disaster. Things just weren't perfect like people make it out to be. And there was only one person in charge of it all, George Lucas. So he was what was keeping that company together. If George Lucas had left, then we have a whole nother issue itself. So yeah, it's worth more now, but it also depends on what you're looking for, I guess. Gamer, thank you very much for the super chat, buddy. He said, should we be worried about Gina? You've seen what I've seen. He's talking about Gina Carano. She plays Cara Dune in the Mandalorian. We'll go back to some of the old B-roll, see if we can get to some Mandalorian. There we go. Oh, good old Rise of Skywalker. So let me go back to the comment section. Sorry. There we go. Should we be worried about her? And he's asking if we should be worried about her leaving Star Wars. There's all these. There's a weird rumor that I almost covered because I thought it was real, but then I read the article and I was like, nah, this feels like a fake news one. And it was saying something that like Gina Carano was almost fired from Star Wars, but Jon Favreau saved her. That came from a fake news website, so that's definitely not true. Do I think Gina is going to get fired? Am I worried about her? No. If anything, it kind of seems like they're building up something more for her. It feels like, going forward, she may be part of the Rangers of the New Republic storyline, and that wouldn't surprise me at all. At the end of season 2, she is right by Din Djarin. She was on him with that mission, so she may be part of season 3. I don't think she's going anywhere, and if she does, I think Lucasfilm's going to have a real bad PR nightmare on their hands. There's some people mad about there's an artwork that they did, and the artist said that Lucasfilm asked them to remove Cara Dune and replace her with Ahsoka Tano, and people were like, they're doing it because of Gina Carano. And I'm hoping it's a happy coincidence. My only argument against that is, well, if you look at it, it kind of makes sense because Ahsoka is a lot more popular right now than Cara Dune, and it matches the aesthetic of the picture because on one side you had Grief Karga, Cara Dune, and then the other side you had what's his name? Moff Gideon, and then the one evil lady from the village that fought Ahsoka. It would make a lot more sense to put Ahsoka across the lady she fought, and also it keeps the same dynamic of having a male and a female on one side, a male and a female on the other side. That's just how I looked at it, but I also understood people being a little sketch on it. So yeah, it's still annoying that they come out in defense of the High Republic girl who said some shit about white people, but won't come out and support Gina Carano, who says, I'm not going to get bullied by these people on the internet trying to tell me what to say. Because she hasn't said anything transphobic. She hasn't said anything racist. Does she follow people and like certain accounts that I think are not so great? Yeah, 100%. But, I got shit on back when Donald Trump was president because I followed him on Twitter. Someone messaged me and basically try to say fuck you for following Donald Trump, and I'm like, bro, he's the president. I follow Joe Biden right now. I mean, am I now a Democrat? I memean, it's one of those things where people are stupid. Sorry, a big Star Wars fan says, have you ever heard Hello Greedo and AT-AT Chat? I of course heard of Hello Greedo. I mean, who hasn't at this point? If you're a Star Wars YouTuber, AT-AT Chat, I talked to him. I love AT-AT Chat. He's a really good guy. Should have him on for a live stream, maybe this weekend or something like that. Just talk to him. So yeah, I know both of them. I know AT-AT better than Hello Greedo though. I don't know anything about Hello Greedo personally. Ben Bamboo says, do you think Disney / Lucasfilm view the sequels as a success or failure? In other words, do they look at only their box office, or do they look at the sequel's reception? Which matters more? Ooh, that's kind of a interesting. That's a weird conversation for me to even try to look at and start. Let's just go back to some of the film B-roll, get some good old sequel shit in there, whatever. Empire Strikes Back, I'll take it. I think Disney, the two are different. Disney looks at the sequels as a success because of the box office revenue. Lucasfilm probably looks at the sequels as a learning opportunity. And I'm not saying failure because they aren't a failure, but I would say learning opportunity because they're not the most successful in terms of storytelling, because they were very limiting on what we're going to do with the story post episode 6. But the reason I say learning opportunity is the schedule, the production for the sequel trilogy was awful, just awful. They any mistake you could have made, they made. And that sucks to say. Some of it was circumstantial. Some of it was outside of the control of people like Kathleen Kennedy. But a lot of it could have been managed better. A lot of it does stem from the problem of Disney. So I think Lucasfilm looks at the sequels and say, this is a learning opportunity on what not to do with production. Let's plan things ahead years ahead of time. Let's not rely on a relay race of we go from one director to one director to one director. Let's make sure we have everything planned out ahead of time, and let's make sure it all works within the same story. So I think in that way, they look at it as a success box office, maybe not the most successful storytelling, but I don't think they're truly disappointed either. I don't think they're ecstatic about what happened, but I think they're, at least the higher ups are probably like, this did good, but we could do better. So I'm interested to see where that goes in the future. Play Like Z says, Star Wars Only. How do you feel about Disney making Starkiller and Galen Merrick canon if they made it into the story and not depowering him? Well, you definitely need to bring down his powers. You cannot keep them what they were in the first or second Force Unleashed. I'm fine with him becoming canon, but he can't be Darth Vader's apprentice. I mean, that timeline between episodes 3 and 4 have been milked beyond relief. I mean, there's nothing more you can milk from that, honestly. So I don't want to see Starkiller coming back in that sense and be Darth Vader's apprentice. If they do it, I won't hate it, but I'm just saying that I don't feel like it works anymore. But if they come back with because there's those reports that there's a Force Unleashed 3 in the works over there at EA. If that does come out, I'm not going to be sad either. But I wouldn't mind having certain things that are just clearly not canon, like Starkiller. If they came out with the Force Unleashed 3 and say, this is not canon, it's just to finish the story that everyone wants to see finished, cool. But then again, will casual audiences even know what canons are? They're going to be like, what do you mean this is not canon? I just saw the spaceship. It had a bunch of cannons on it. It's like, no. Canon doesn't mean that. You know, fucking, sorry, Grandpa. Whoa-ho, or Whoa-Joe, whatever you call him. So Star Wars Only, you're a smart man. I'm smart enough to tell you that I'm not a smart man at all. I mispronounce so many words. English is my first language. I can barely fucking speak it. I'm pretty fucking stupid. Ben Bamboo says, I hope at least one of them, preferably Lucasfilm, sees and understands the mistakes they made. Yeah, Lucasfilm 110% knows they made mistakes. I don't think anyone can make the argument that they haven't changed anything, that they haven't grown from the sequel trilogy. I think they've really adapted and they've really changed how they're making Star Wars movies, the plans going forward, not focusing on one era, being a little bit more bold and willing to take risk. I think they've improved a lot. So I'm going to have to always give them credit where credit is due, and they've done a lot better. Jaden Hecko says, man, do you think Star Wars could work as high-budget anime TV show or movies? TV show, yeah. I mean, didn't we get that with the Clone Wars? I mean, Rebels as well. Could work as high-budget anime TV show or movies. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why. Isn't that what we're getting this year, though? Star Wars Visions? That's going to be like 10 episodes from different Japanese studios and anime creators. So I don't think we're going to have to wait too long to find out. I don't know when that's coming out either. I think summer, maybe. I'm not sure. David asked if I've played Star Wars board games and puzzle games. No, I don't. I'm too I'm too bored for that stuff. I play it for like 10 minutes. I'm like, all right, can we play like a video game or something? I'm good. I can sit down and play chess with my girlfriend. She kicks my ass in it, but it's worth a shot, you know. Wojo says, Star Wars Only. How old are you? I am 21 and young, my friend. SN7 says, do you think our mainstream media is modern 1984's Ministry of Truth? Hey, man, everyone knows that it's just like 1984, except no one has ever read the book 1984. I sure as hell haven't. So yeah, I don't know. I need to read it. That's one that's been popularized in conservative circles for a long time now. If we want to talk about books, quick note. The book I'm reading right now is called The School Revolution, A New Answer for Our Broken Education System. It's from a guy named Ron Paul. He's a former presidential candidate and congressman and all that. He's a very libertarian guy. So I like him for that because I like libertarian stuff more. But yeah, that's the education book I'm reading nowadays. Jaden Hecko says, favorite SWTOR class story and why? Dude, I'm going to have to go with the... It's always Sith. I feel like the Sith are just so much more interesting in that entire game. Just what you get to do. It feels cooler. You know, it feels cool being a Sith. My favorite class is going to have to be, I think, what are the classes for Sith? There's like Warrior, and then isn't there a Sorcerer or something? I know there's like one point when you get to pick if you want to be an Assassin or an Inquisitor, where you get to have like one of them gets a double-bladed lightsaber, and the other one is just super powerful with the Force. I always go for the Force route. I haven't finished it either. I want to finish that on like a stream or a let's play stuff. But no, I don't. That's probably my favorite, but I don't really have one. I haven't played all of them either. Gamer Guy says, "Is that Rand Paul's dad?" Yeah, the Ron Paul's Rand Paul's dad. Which, dude, I don't know if Ron is the one who named Rand, but if you did, bro, that's a dick move. That is a dick move. Like, imagine your name is John. Shout out to any Johns in the chat. If your name is John and you have a son and you name him Ron, dude, go fucking pick up a book that don't even pick up a book about anything. Just pick up a book and then go through it and find a name that's different, because Ron Paul, like you're just asking for stupid. If I know anything that's just stupid, I'm sorry. Yeah, that is Rand Paul's dad. Star Wars Hour says, you should bring Doomcock or Mike Zero on Tatooine show and ask him about the crap they have been posting. It's not a bad idea. I don't know. I'm confident I could get Doomcock on in the sense of like he would be up for a talk about it. Maybe not about that specific topic. He'd probably find that very confrontational and not want to do that, which I completely understand. And then Mike Zero. Has anyone ever seen Mike Zero outside of his own channel? Is that man even real? Is Mike Zero an actual person? I've seen the face, but like, has anyone seen Mike Zero out getting a slice of pizza? I don't know, man. Have you ever seen Mike Zero and the picture of the guy who is Mike Zero in the same room at once? I don't think anyone has. I don't think anyone's seen Mike Zero in a room. Big Star Wars fan says, what if Lucasfilm made Starkiller and Mara Jade Jedi Assassins and they joined with Thrawn to hunt down Luke and Ben in between episode 6 and 7? You're doing too much. You're doing way too much. You're going to either piss off half the fandom or confuse the other half. One of the two. That's too much for me. Play Like Zia has the perfect comment. I want a Star Wars game with a super detailed open world like Red Dead Redemption 2. Brother, let me tell you, that's all I want. I want it like more Skyrim vibe, but like Red Dead Redemption 2 is also great. Like a mix of Rockstar and Bethesda's open world stuff. Yeah, a Star Wars game like that. But here's my pitch on that. Every planet is like Skyrim and Red Dead Redemption 2, where it's open world. You got to travel across and everything. Every single planet is like that. But there's like 10 to 15 planets. So each planet you go to is like 2 to 3 hours just to walk from one point of the map to the other. And each planet has like 10 to 20 hours worth of story gameplay to go through. I know that is super ambitious. I know that is the hardest thing in the world to probably make or do. Just keeping those like, just keeping the game engine being able to hold that, or making that for modern day consoles. Fuck the consoles. Just put it on PC and the consoles will catch up one day. But bro, that would be mind-numbingly amazing. A very detailed world for Star Wars, but like open world at the same time. Oh my God, if a fella could dream, bro, let me tell you. Reskov says, inside scoop, Star Wars Only is Mike Zero. Ah, shit. They found me out. I didn't want to do it to you like these guys, but yeah, I got to tell you guys, I am Mike Zero. I am Mike Zero. Now, everyone else needs to stand up now and says, no, I am Mike Zero. Say what you will about the man, and I've said plenty. I feel like I've said that a lot on my channel, by the way. Mike Zero probably makes bank. That guy probably makes bank off of YouTube. He's putting out like what does he do with his free time? I mean, he's putting out a video every few hours, and it's not like every few hours for like a week or so. This motherfucker has been doing this for years. Years. He's been putting out daily video. Ryan Johnson had to make a comment about him, and they talked about him during the production of The Last Jedi, and that was back in like 2016. So for almost 5 years now, this man has put up a YouTube video every few hours, every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 0.25, because let's not forget leap year. I mean, dude, he does not have I guarantee you Mike Zero has not jerked off in probably 6 years max. If he does, it's between uploads. He's like, all right, and I got one up, and there's another one. All right, that one's, we're rendering. How much time do I got? 10 minutes? It's been a few months. I can make it work. Oh, my God. I mean, that brother is on a grind. Good for him. Good for him. Star Wars Lothcat says, if you could have any color lightsaber, what color would you choose? Green, 110% green. Luke has it. It looks pretty, and I like it. The Mandalorian Covert says, Star Wars Only out here proposing the 1 terabyte Star Wars games. Oh, yeah. The open world Star Wars game that would be something like a freaking Red Dead Redemption 2 or Skyrim. That would be a couple terabytes. I mean, they would say, hey, we bought this console. You can get this. The next, the PS6 is coming out. And this one is a Star Wars open world video game, whatever the fuck the game is going to be called. Let's just call actually, the game is so big. The game is such a big deal. It doesn't even have a name. It's just called Star Wars. That's the next. That's like the open world Star Wars game where you can go to every single planet that has ever been existed in Star Wars, and each planet is like countless hours long. They come out with like a PS6 and an Xbox 720 because let's fix the names for that as well. And they're like, hey, we have an exclusive. You can get the PS6 right now with a Star Wars game coming out. And they're like, cool. What? Like, how much space do I have? They're like, no space. Sorry, that's the deal with these consoles. Is you get the PlayStation 6 and there's not enough room for literally anything else but the Star Wars game that has come out. And they're going to be like, well, what's the name of the Star Wars game? And they're like, yeah. No. What's the title of that new Star Wars video game? Yep, you nailed it. It's Star Wars. It's fucking Star Wars. David says, what is your favorite pizza? 110% cheese pizza. My rule of thumb is if you cannot make a good cheese pizza, then you're not you're not making good pizza. Gamer Guy says Star Wars Only inadvertently starts a Star Wars YouTuber war. I'd be down for it, dude. There was a time when I was working at a zoo back in high school. And this sounds fucked up. It's not as fucked up as it sounds, but it was kind of fucked up. That's how you know the story's not bad, not good. You see that meme where he's like, "How fucked up is fucked up," and then it shows something. He's like, "No, that's pretty fucked up." One thing I did to inadvertently start drama at my work when I was in high school is like there's these two people, and one of them is like a friend of mine. They both were friends. This one girl, it was high school, mind you. She had been dating a lot of boys, like on and off and stuff. And so I was just like, hey, our friend over there? Let's just call him John for the sake of argument. I was like, you should date John. I think he likes you. And she was like, really? I was like, yeah. And then me and John talked about her, and he was like, yeah, bro, she's kind of hot. I was like, hey, man, if you like her, I think she's kind of got an interest in you. And so they started like having this on and off dating thing that lasted like only about a month. But it was kind of funny. I was bored at work. Like it was during like the summer, so I was like, I got nothing to do, so I'm just gonna watch this start and unravel. And it led nowhere, but it was a good way for Star Wars Only to spend a month. So yeah, I'm a dick in that sense. Chuck says, he has no GF. I mean, we did a live stream with her on here, so I mean, say what you will, she's there. Unless that's her. Oh shit, babe, is that you? The chi type, the chi type that I don't have a girlfriend to be like, hey, this is it. I'm gonna tell you on your live stream. Bob Janison says, isn't there a game on PC that allows you to do that? Star Citizen. It's not finished though, I don't think. Yeah, Star Citizen's never gonna finish, bro. That game has been in development for freaking 20 years now. Let me Google real quick. How long Star Citizen? How long has Star Citizen? Oh, the first thing I saw was Star Wars been around. The game was announced in 2012, and production started in 2011. So, I mean, how much money has it made since? I mean, this game has made millions and millions and millions of dollars. I mean, people have spent thousands and thousands of dollars on Star Citizen. It's 8 years in development as of 2019, and it's just like, it's just at some point you gotta put the fucking game out, bro. This is a game that like I remember looking forward to in like middle school and being like, bro, I can't wait. Like when that comes out, I'm gonna have a PC and it's like Star Wars, but like it's not like I get to do anything. It's been I'm in middle like freaking college now, bro. I'm in the middle of college and it's still not out. Star Citizen is a scam. Oh, poor bastards who had to play for that. Proud SJW boy. Oh, here we go. I want to talk about Star Wars or drama. Try criticizing Star Wars Citizen. You'll be burned by an angry mob. Oh, shit. I didn't know that. I'm sorry if you guys like Star Citizen. If you do, hey, I love the way it looks and all that. But Boy, y'all been hustled. I've seen people who are like, yeah, I spent like $5,000 on a spaceship. You're like, really? On what game? $5,000? You could have bought some stocks with that, man. You could have bought like some Apple or some Tesla stocks, and you would have been good for years. And like, nah, man, it's a spaceship in Star Citizen. Really? When does that come out? And they're gonna be like, well, it hasn't come out yet. It hasn't come out yet, but you know, it's coming. Was that my dog? Leia. Hey, Leia, stop. Leia, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, my dog's name is Leia. It's a pug. She's beautiful. Anytime I tell someone in my neighborhood, they're like, what's your dog's name? I'm like, Leia. They're like, oh, like Princess Leia? I'm like, who? Princess who? Princess Leia? I've never heard of her. No, yeah, 100% Leia. Carson says, do you put your dog in a bikini? I do put her in a tutu, a little Minnie Mouse tutu. It's very cute. Crystal Custom says, hey, I'm just stopping by. I found your channel from Goldman, and I love your videos. I appreciate that. Yeah, he has been a good help for the channel. I'm always glad to have Goldman on. Good guy, good friend. All right, we have officially hit an hour into the live stream, so I'm probably going to do a few more minutes, and then we're going to call it a night, guys. David the Master says, read any Star Wars magazine. I actually have, it's right here. It's a special time edition, Star Wars, The Inside Stories, The Epic Journey, and What Comes Next. I've read a little bit of it. Honestly, it's not that good. It's just kind of informative stuff. It's just kind of typical Star Wars stuff. Something that people make YouTube videos about. There's some parts of it that I'll probably reread, like George Lucas stuff. And maybe they got one on J.J. Abrams and everything. A lot of this, though, is just kind of not amazing. Just kind of like, hey, this is what episode 1's about. This is what episode 2 is about. This is what episode 3 is about. So, yeah, I want to get more into the Star Wars magazines like that where I can stay up to date on some of the news. But other than that, no, I don't. Dutastic says, Star Wars Only, did you see my meme about your dog? I did not, but if you have one, tag me in it on Instagram or link it in the description or the comment section at the end of this video so I can get a quick look at it, because any meme about my dog is a good meme. Did you get drunk with Drunk 3PO? No, I have not. We're supposed to meet up in February and go to Galaxy's Edge, so maybe we can get drunk there. I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it because financially, holy shit. Galaxy's Edge is expensive, bro. Very expensive. Elijah says, who's your favorite Star Wars director? Ooh, I have options now because we have The Mandalorian. Ooh, my favorite Star Wars director. If we're just going Star Wars, like not directors who have worked in Star Wars. So I could say like directors who've directed other things other than Star Wars that I liked. But if we're talking about only directors because of their Star Wars work, ooh, probably Irvin Kershner. Yeah. Sorry about that. I fucking died there for a second. No, some guy knocked on my door. Leia, hey, baby, it's okay. Come here. Come here, girl. Good girl. Protecting the house. Thank you. Very good job. Some guy had the wrong fucking place. That never happens. These are private residences, sir. No, yeah, some guy was just knocking on the door looking for a completely different house. The Mandalorian Covert says, would you ever do a Star Wars video / stream while high, or is Star Wars not something that goes through your mind when you're doing that? Oh, buddy, you may be new here, my friend. I've talked about for a while now how I want to do something called the High Ground podcast, where basically I would do like a live show, and this would have to show my face and everything. So it'd be like a newsroom, kind of like a studio, just basically a studio setup. And in that, I would have guests on interviews and stuff, and we would just smoke weed and talk Star Wars. I love that, mainly because I would love the community that would bring, like the kind of Star Wars fans that there are that are stoners, because it's typical, stereotypical stuff of like stoners are lazy, which is very true. But I also feel like that community in general who smokes pot is also like very chilled and laid back. So I would always love to do something like that. I'm not opposed to doing a video game or stream or something like that high. I just sometimes you can tell, and it would be easier for you to tell and make fun of me for it if you could actually see my face while I'm doing it, instead of like this where you're only hearing my voice. Me, Darth Daddy Lunga, and I think Goldman was there for it too. I think this was back in 2020 or maybe even 2019. Probably 2020, actually, because I don't think I knew Goldman in 2019. We did a stream together, and I was high, and Goldman did not know it, but Lunga definitely did. And if you go back and listen to it, you could kind of understand why he would think that. But afterwards, like a day or two later, I remember us talking about it, and I was like, dude, I did that one stream high. He was like, oh, yeah, I know. It was pretty obvious. So I can't do all of them high, because you would be like, bro, Star Wars Only stupid. I've made a lot of videos high. Like almost any video pre-2019 or even during 2019, I was likely 110% high for it, like every single one. So I gotta rein that in, because if I don't, oh man, it's it'll get bad. Become high. Have I? He says if you do the high ground, you need an Obi-Wan soundboard. Oh yeah, it would be very laid back and cool. This person asked, does my girlfriend smoke weed? She's not a stoner per se. She's not like someone who's going to be like, oh, I have to smoke. Or so. For me, I'm like, hey, I love smoking weed. And she's one of those people who's like, cool, if you want to do it, I support it. If not, you don't have to either. So yeah, she's very judgmental in that sense. Petition for the Star Wars Only sex tape. Oh man, I don't have one, and if I did, y'all wouldn't want to see it. The Star Wars Hour says PlayStation or Xbox. Which do you prefer? That's a tough one. I had the PS4. My PS4 basically broke, so that kind of sucks. It was the Battlefront edition too, and then I have an Xbox Series. Wait, Series X is the God. How did I get confused with the names? I'm supposed to be a gamer. I have the One X. I don't have the Series X. The way I look at it is Xbox 360 was better than PlayStation 3. You're not going to beat that. You're not going to win that argument for me. Xbox 360 was better. Xbox Live was better. I remember that month or two where like PlayStation servers were down because the servers were hacked and shit. That never happened with Xbox. I loved Xbox, but I think it's pretty clear that the PS4 is better than the Xbox One. Now, the Xbox One X, when it comes to like the actual specs of it, it's a lot better than the PlayStation 5. But PlayStation has more exclusives and everything. Xbox has Game Pass, which is kind of the main thing for me now. But I don't know. It's hard to say right now, because the console war is kind of different because of COVID. So I don't know what's going to happen going forward. And this may be the last console cycle that we get, maybe ever, but the last modern versions of it. Elijah says plot twist. He's high right now. No, I'm not. I was last night, but not tonight. Jack Cobb says the logo should have Obi-Wan on the high ground smoking a blunt. Oh yeah, I mean, I'll definitely have like a cool logo for it, but I don't see this happening for a while. So don't wait up. Sorry, I missed the super chat comment star. He says, "What's college like now? Is it worth going right now?" He's probably asking, "Is it worth going to right now?" For me, it's okay because it's all online, and I'm going through community college. I got no fucking shame in that, dude. I would rather not owe anyone a dime and go to a community college that's cheap than owe people thousands and thousands of dollars and not even know what I'm doing. So I'm going to community college for my basics. After that, Star Wars Only doesn't know what he wants to do. There's a field that I've been involved with marketing for a while that I could potentially do, but that's not my passion. I could do something in film. I've been thinking about going to film school. Not a lot of career opportunities in that sense, but it's also my passion. And I have my hand in so many different cookie jars. You know, I do MMA. I would love to be an MMA fighter. I do YouTube. There's Instagram, and there's also film that I could go into. And there's so many different opportunities for me being at my age. So there's a lot I could do. But is college worth it? Is a question that's hard to answer. It really depends on what you're going in for. If you're coming out of high school, man, and you're going, I don't know what I want to do, go to a community college, do that for a little bit, because you'll at least get your basics done at a very cheap price and not. I mean, I had friends in high school before we even left for college. The summer after high school ended, I had a friend who told me, bro, I am already $10,000 in debt. And he hadn't even started his classes yet. I am now 2.5 years, maybe. I've been in college for a minute. Don't do what I did and take your time. But I've been in college for a little bit, and it has not cost me more than what it needs to. You know, I don't owe anybody money for my college. So definitely do community college if you don't know what you want to do. If you do know what you want to do, do whatever. Just save your money. Don't worry about the whole people who are like, college are the best years of your life, man. High school is the best years of your life. If someone says that to you, bro, they're a fucking idiot. You do not want your teenage and early 20s to be the best years of your life. You want it to be all the time. Who is a stoner from Lucasfilm in your opinion? I have 3 names that I know 110% are stoners. Well, Pedro Pascal is one of them, but he's not at Lucasfilm. But Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and that Ludwig guy who does the composing for Mandalorian. He is definitely, all 3 of those guys are 110% stoners. The Tatooine tabloid says, are you a bong guy? I'm not against them. I don't like keeping them around me because they're very hard to keep up with, clean, all that stuff. I've done it once or twice, and holy fuck, does it get you high? Like I'm normally like a blunt guy. That's it. I use hemp wrap sometimes. Swisher Sweets, which makes like actual tobacco blunts. Pipes are cool. Dabs are fine, but a bong, man, you just do like a little bit of it. Like you do maybe an eighth. Well, if you do an eighth in general, I mean, holy fuck, you're gonna get shit faced. But if you just do like half an ounce, why am I saying half an ounce? Like that's not a lot. My bad. Half a gram. If you do like half a gram of just a bong, you're gonna have a good time, man. You're gonna have a good time. The Goldman says, "Sup, Shill? How you doing? I'm doing pretty good, brother. How you doing?" So someone came in here earlier saying that they came to me from your channel, so I appreciate that. Gamer guy says, "We now need to see you flex your MMA skills." I'm okay. Hey, I got no ego in this, bro. You're not gonna see me posting pictures of me without my shirt, being like, "What's up, guys? I can kick your ass" and all that shit. I don't fucking care. The great thing about being in MMA is that I can go to my gym and I can be like, all right, I'm the best judoka here, which is just people who do judo. And then like my sensei, who's literally only like a year or 2 above me, but is like an Olympic judo guy, will kick my ass 9 different ways from Sunday. I mean, you cannot have an ego about anything. If you do jujitsu, you do judo, you do MMA, or wrestling even. Wrestling has a lot more ego, but I also think it's because of the competition and how long those guys do it for. But yeah, it's hard to have an ego on that shit. So I'm not gonna flex it. If I have a fight and I think it's okay for you guys to see my face, I would tell you, hey, I got a fight coming up this weekend. The biggest bitch, and it would be if I ever made it to like the UFC or something like that, and then like someone who watches the channel is watching me give like a press conference, and they're like, you know, that motherfucker sounds a lot like StarWarsOnly. Huh. You know, like kind of puts 1 and 2 together. Ben Bamboo says, I donate my left nut to smoke a doobie with Filoni and Favreau. Oh, 110%, bro. I mean, I'd kill probably 2/3 of you in the chat right now just to do that. I'm playing. But yeah, no, that would be really cool. Mainly Favreau. Filoni's really cool too, but I feel like Favreau's got so much more life experience and like stuff outside of Star Wars that you could talk to Dave. Then you could talk to Dave with. But Dave, if you want to talk about Star Wars, is the guy to go to. But also, part of me would not want to talk. That's what's fun about like Star Wars actors and people involved with the like these creative types is I feel like if you would chill with them and you only talked about Star Wars, you would really bore them. It'd be really exciting for you, because, you know, they made Star Wars. But if you talk to like Dave Filoni about stuff that's not Star Wars related, I feel like you would learn a lot more about the guy, because I don't know. It's nice to have different passions about different things and see what they think about other stuff. So like for me with Gina Carano, if I ever got to talk to her, I wouldn't want to just talk about Star Wars, even though she's in Star Wars and I love Star Wars. She's a former MMA fighter who fought Ronda Rousey. She was in Strike Force when that was still a thing. So for me, I'm like, that would be a really cool conversation, just to talk to Gina Carano about her MMA career, her routine, like what she did for training, why she left the sport, and how it helped her with her Star Wars career, how it helped her with her acting, so many different things. So yeah, that's how I would do it. Play Like Z says, what did you think about Snoke? In my opinion, he was the coolest sequel characters, even though he died like a loser. I'm okay with it. I don't like the way they pitched his character and then just kind of tossed him off a cliff. But I'm just not satisfied with Snoke. Like, I've kind of moved on from it, but the more I think about it, the more frustrating it is, because it just seems like he was meant to be somebody, and it just makes no sense that, like, it seems like they just kind of retconned everything in episode 9 for Snoke, because originally there was some factoid about how Emperor Palpatine knew Snoke was a thing close to the end of his life. Like, he could sense Snoke and had a feeling that he would like lead the First Order and everything. And then in episode 9, it's like, nope, Palpatine made him. So it just, it's very, very stupid. The Gungan Army says, smoking a blunt with George would be interesting. George Lucas has never done a single drug in his life. I know that for sure. But smoking a blunt with the man, I don't even know what that guy would say. I'm like, shit. What do they call this strain? Huh? Like, Mr. Lucas, that's actually called the Skywalker strain. Skywalker. I'll sue them after this, but let me tell you, this shit hits. This shit hits. I'd love to see that man smoke. I'd love to smoke with that man. Would you do death sticks? Yes, I would. As long as it's not like extremely addictive or going to ruin my brain. There's some drugs out there that people have recommended to me who are like, hey, you want to do some cocaine? I'm like, cocaine? Oh, that's disgusting. You're going to sniff that and your brain's going to rot. Like, you're going to be gone. So, yeah, no. Death sticks, as long as they're not, like, awfully bad for you. Oh, shit. Is this a Rogue One trailer? Might be a good time to call it right here, boys. Got copyrighted last time for this. Oh, no, this is Andor. All right, anyways. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm pretty good. I think this is a good place to wrap up things. Matthew Kelly says, did anyone ask you to stop smoking before? Like, does anyone mention, do you need to stop smoking cigarettes? Oh, yeah. If anyone tells you weed is not addictive, the surface level, they're right. But there are addictive natures to it. And I definitely got addicted to weed for a while. And I got out of it, thankfully. I'm able to enjoy it from time to time, but not let it control my life. So don't let it do. Don't believe anyone who's like, it's not as bad for you as the other stuff. It's bad, but it's really cool too. Everything in moderation, my friends. But thank you all for tuning in. This was a very chilled and laid back live stream. I'm always happy to do these. Always have fun doing them. So thank you all for joining. I'm going to see you guys next time. Probably do another live stream this weekend, another video tomorrow. And by the way, good question, Star Wars Hour. Are you ever going to do another installment of your tragedy series? I should, because I haven't done those in many years, but I should. So thank you all for joining. I will see you all next time. May the Force be with you always.